Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me once again. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to deal with low self-esteem, and this is just going to kind of be a chatty video, so sorry if I kind of ramble on for a while, but this is a topic that is very close to my heart because it is something I have struggled with for the majority of my life, and still, honestly, sometimes to today, still struggle with. I remember, so when I was younger, I used to dance, and I remember there was a time where we had this dance rehearsal, fall staff in Toronto, at the community center, and I don't remember what happened, but my instructor was teaching, and I don't know if I wasn't following or paying attention or whatever, but she had me meet her outside to talk, and I would not make eye contact with her. I was just kind of looking down, looking away, you know. I just couldn't look at her face to face, and in my mind, I was doing her a favor because if I locked eyes with her, I would be forcing her to look upon all of this ugliness, and I couldn't handle that. At that time, I had a really big problem making eye contact with people because I feel like that was inviting them to keep staring at my ugly face, and that's not something I wanted. And so I kept looking down, and she took that as a sign of disrespect and got even more upset with me, and I just remember my eyes swelling with tears and the biggest lump in my throat, just trying to, you know, suppress the crying. And I couldn't say, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just so ugly, I don't want you to look at me. So I just kind of cried and kept looking down, and she just kept going off, and that was a very paralyzing moment for me. I've been called all kinds of names. Clearly I'm dark skinned, clearly, you know, 15, 14, 16-year-old girls today, this is what I look like now, and I am like, I'm not in my teens at all. And when I was in my teens, all I had was like the Billy compacts from the dollar store, and those fruity flavored lip glosses that were more like castor oil from like the beauty supplies shop. That's all I had to work with. Being a teenager today, you have access to so much stuff, material stuff, to make yourself look like mainstream media's definition of beautiful. I didn't have access to those things when I was younger, so I feel like it is easier for girls to kind of hide and cover up, which I don't fully, you know, depends what they're doing it for. If they truly love it and doing it from themselves, that's great, but I'm just saying, I didn't have things to cover up with. It was just me and my dark skin, and there was no, you know, lace wigs, or there was no falsies. There's none of that at the time, and so I really struggled with just accepting myself. And I think I mentioned before, I've been called all kinds of names for my skin, from tar baby to shadows to asphalt, all kinds of things. And so that's how I grew up, thinking I was ugly, and I took that mentality to the way I thought God saw me, as hideous and not worthy of his love. And it wasn't until recently, when I was dealing with some of my, I guess, in counseling, when some of those things were brought up, and my counselor was like, you know how God sees you, he sees you as this precious child, like an infant, and he just cares so much about you. And he gave me homework to go home and go through my Bible and figure out what are these things that, you know, God says about me, what he believes about me. And they're all, you know, wonderful things. We were made in his image, we are highly favored, we are beautifully and wonderfully made. He knit us together in our mother's wombs. He knew all the days of our lives before we even lived out one, that when we come to his presence, we should come with joyful expectation, because we, his children, are coming before him, and Jesus is pleading on our behalf, and just all these great things, right? But I wasn't able to accept any of them just because of this cage of mental oppression that came from my childhood. And so I guess all of that is to say that don't believe the lies. There is so much that I counted myself out of doing because I didn't feel like I looked worthy enough. And I want you to know that the way you are made, the way you're created, was in such a way that only you can have an effect, a positive impact on the people's lives that are in your circle, that are in your network. There is nobody else that may be able to reach those people except for you. And you have those gifts, you have those talents, you have all those things that make you beautifully and wonderfully unique because God made you that way. And He does not want you to sit back and waste those gifts in a false prison, right? He doesn't want you to cheat yourself out of that, because He didn't, when we're born, we're not born with these ideas of this is what beautiful is, and this is what good looking is, and this is what is worthy. And we are taught those things. You need to break off those chains, deconstruct those fallacies, and know that the way you are made is the way you were intended to be made. And so I don't want you to stand in your own way, the way I stood in my own way for years. I want you to embrace who you are in your own skin as you are, and use that to God's glory. I want you to just look in the mirror and just look at yourself and love that person, because that person is so loved by God, way more than you can ever think or imagine. And He is so excited about us. He is so excited about you, and everything He's given you. He's like a father watching their kid take steps for the first time. That is how He feels when we kind of step out and flap our wings and try to fly. And He'll help us soar on His eagle's wings when we step out of the nest. And so that's all I want to leave you with today. Don't stand in your own way. Don't block your own blessing. Don't block other people's blessings by standing in your own way, because you were meant to bless everybody around you. So I'm hoping that was encouraging. It's something that I still, on a daily basis, honestly, I still struggle with my self-esteem. But that was, I guess, that light bulb went off to know that it was not coming from a place of love. It was not biblical, and that those are the shackles I'm kind of shaking off. I hope Mary would be proud of me. Shake the shackles off my feet so I can dance. Remember that? Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. If you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.